Hi there folks, so I'm Alex here from the Southern Ukulele Store at the NAMM 2020 at the Kanile'a stand with Joe Souza, one of my favourite people in the whole world.
Oh, beautiful. Good
And
to
I
see you,
mean
brother.
that, it's good to see you
Yeah.
too. And we must confess, the show's not even really open yet, and Phil and I snuck down here and we've tried all the new models, but we haven't really heard what they're about, and I'd love to run that through with you now, if we can.
I'd love to share.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Right, cool.
So, for 2020, when we think of what does 2020 remind us of, as Kanile'a ukulele, we always thought, vision and how our vision is kind of graded. So the theme of 2020 is what we translated out onto our instruments as far as what we do today as a modern day builder and how it's going to affect the future.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, which makes total sense. So for 2020, we're introducing our Platinum, and the 2020 Platinum is something totally unique. When we started to look at the design of this instrument, we really wanted to take the ukulele into a new direction as far as what we do as a modern day builder, but then not forget about our history and the past to say.
Of course.
So in this case, we have what is called pahono, and in Hawaiian folklore, these were always considered a way of mending. And in this case, taking the past and the knowledge that was passed on to us and how it translates from generation to generation.
Right.
So now with our three sons joining our company, it's so important to really see what we're teaching them. And in preparation for the future, these inlay out of sand is actually a representative of our genealogy. And these are all different years and the knowledge that have been passed on. So ideally, this would be us, this is our sons, and this, of course, would be any future generations.
Fantastic.
And something very artistic that we're able to do on the instrument with the D-shaped sound hole, the side sound port, and carry all the features that you would find on a Kanile'a ukulele, the Kanile'a cutaway bevel, the Kanile'a cutaway, the armrest, curly maple top and back binding, of course, master grade core, just blow your mind core.
Yeah, it's very the textures. Just looking around it now while you were talking, I got a bit distracted just looking at it. It's gorgeous,
isn't it? Thank you.
Yeah.
And then of course we did this throwback for 2020, which is the original Kanile'a name, and doing it in Old English. And we thought it was like a nice taste or a nice addition to not forgetting our past, because we are celebrating our 22nd year as Kanile'a Ukulele and doing this kind of throwback logo with this modern ukulele and all of the modern features that you would find on, the ukulele of 2020.
Yeah, I mean, you were retracing your roots last year, weren't you? When we saw you last summer.
Right.
So it's nice to see the culmination of that. You went back to Portugal and came and saw us, didn't you? And
Right. And we're celebrating the 140th anniversary of one of the first ships that sailed from Madeira, which of course was the introduction of the bregueña or the machete to the Hawaiians, which the Hawaiians embraced and of course became the ukulele.
It's fantastic. I think you're the only company, I'm not just trying to be nice to you because I'm in front of you, but you're the only company I know that can do something that's incredibly rich in heritage, but but so modern as well. Like seeing the old script with the stealth tuners.
Right.
It's very you.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
a
you.
testament to you. It's a great
Awesome.
job.
And the tone, and that's what it was all about.
You're very responsive. We filmed a sound sample that we're going to play for you now. The tone is just gorgeous.
Phenomenal. And this is the whole bracing was redesigned from the ground up. It's a platinum. It's everything that we do as Kanile'a ukulele, and the best of the best of the best is what we do as the modern day builder. And the tone was just like holy moly.
Yeah,
I was blown away.
Yeah, this when we filmed our sample, we kind of traced the microphone around. I was listening through headphones, and it's so interesting. You get a very kind of nice bass-heavy sound from a distance, but what you hear in your ears there, the slight eccentricities of the sound, it's great.
Right.
I mean, Kaimana told me it would be fantastic, but it's a platinum, and every year we fall in love with the platinums, don't we?
Thank you.
Cool.
And again, just a beautiful sound. And I spent time with this instrument and just played and played. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
As we were going through prototyping, there were several that led to this, and of course,
Okay.
this is like, to me, the supreme being of the modern day ukulele, the
Yeah.
2020 Platinum.
When you were prototyping it, what things did you change as you went? I think people who are interested in the Platinum would love to know what led to this design.
Yeah. When I was looking at the soundboard and how to free up vibration or how to get more out of our soundboard, that's where I looked at kind of replacing the side, the sound hole towards the side, which then kind of opens up the middle of the soundboard and opens up, in this case, the treble side, which for the bigger size super tenor, we have these great lower registered tones, but to try and open up some of that treble sound and to get a little bit more from that side of the instrument, which is what led to, moving the sound hole, redesigning the sound hole, of course, redesigning the bracing, and the bracing and where it travels and how it travels under the soundboard, and basically takes the string energy right from the saddle through the bridge, onto the bridge, or onto the bracing system, and how it radiates out from there, which of course is what really set this instrument aside. Now the side sound port is always the bonus, and getting tone to you as the player, because really 99% of the time I'm playing my ukulele, I'm playing for myself. I'm not plugged in and playing for an audience.
That's it. People buy these nice ukuleles, and especially people who play in the groups, which is very popular in the UK. They're not the people benefiting from having these nice instruments. So it's a very slim sound hole as well. I mean, I just mind if I just show it to the camera there. It's just it's not too ostentatious.
No.
It's like you did the pineapple one for last year's Platinum. It's not too big, so it doesn't. You're not spending too much time looking inside the instrument.
Exactly.
But if you wanted to, it's very nice.
Right. And it's just allowing some of that vibration to come to you as the player. And then one feature that I didn't share is with the armrests, of course, the rosette, the cutaway, the bevel, even the trimmer on the side sound port is all kolohala, which is on another native Hawaiian hardwood.
Okay.
And kolohala got its name because it's it looks almost like the feathers of a pheasant, which is what a kolohala is.
Okay.
So those feathers, to say, have a lot of significance to Hawaiians.
Right.
For Hawaiians, we didn't necessarily have precious metals and gems and stones. Pretty much what was precious to us was feathers, or the birds and the feathers, and that's how we would make these beautiful capes, which are called ahu'ula, or these different weapons, to say, that were basically with the connection to the birds.
Okay.
And in this case, the kolohala brings some of that onto the instrument, our representation to how important the birds, which then of course translate to caring for the forests and reforestation, and the other side to Kanile'a that not many of us get a chance to really see, but when we start to look at,
it's so key to what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've planted over 19,000 trees at this point, and we're basically rebuilding the forests, which is such a beautiful addition to what we do.
What I should say for people watching this now is there's a fantastic podcast you did recently with Andrew at the ukulele site. Anybody who's interested in what Kanile'a are doing, it's about an hour long, and it's just worth your time. So I'll put a link in the description for this video, but do make sure you watch it.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's great. I was telling Kristen, just fantastic. I watched it thinking I'd watch 5 minutes and watch the rest later, and I just stopped what I was doing. Not much work got done that day.
Sorry to get you in trouble.
It's all good. So, do you mind just showing us the pineapple?
Yes, so that's what I was going to just lead to now. The 2019 Platinum was phenomenal. We introduced and did something that nobody really ever did, which is crossing that pineapple tenor bridge as the Hawaiian-made builder. But we reintroduced the pineapple, in this case, as a P1, very similar to our K1, to say, but in this case, it's in the pineapple shape.
Cool.
And the intention is to really make it accessible, because the tone of the pineapple was phenomenal. It has a great mid-range, just because of the way that the shape of the body is.
Yeah.
And then the one thing that we carried over from the Platinum, because usually the Platinum kind of scratches all of the features, and in this case, no side sound port, but we did keep the logo.
I hadn't noticed that. Yeah, people always like the logo. We did quite well with the Platinum last year. A lot of people like pineapple ukuleles. It's not a boomy sound, but there's that kind of natural sustain on the C.
Yes.
It's great, and you can play at high G, but you don't really feel like you're missing out. No, I'm delighted that you've decided to carry on with the pineapple, because so many people were clamoring for this kind of model.
Yeah, and again, great sound. Very round, very balanced tone. Very Kanile'a in sound.
Yeah.
But in this case, having it as a pineapple shape, which has now become very nostalgic. For the Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Lifestyle.
It's heavily associated in the UK as well. Like, we think of Hawaiian ukuleles, and quite often the pineapple's one of the first things on people's minds. So
That's right.
that's fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you.
The last instrument we're going to look at today with Joe, thank you for your time, by the way,
You're welcome.
is this thing here, which it needs explaining because it's a feast for the eyes.
Thank you. And what we wanted to do with this is really showcase what we're able to do as a builder, and do something that's really, really different that nobody's really challenged.
Yeah, okay.
As far as the ukulele, the Hawaiian-made ukulele company. And so this instrument we named Kaneohe Bay. And of course, Kaneohe Bay is where we're located, right in Kaneohe, and literally this beautiful, seascape that's part of our life. And translating that onto an instrument, how could we do that? So you'll notice that it has 3 turtles as the inlay on the fingerboard, and that was by design with 2020 and our 3 sons now joining our company. The 3 turtles are representative of each of our sons. So the 3 honu and Hawaiian, and of course they're known for long life and good prosperity. But beyond that, taking that concept and how do we get that blues and the greens and the interesting colors that come with Kaneohe Bay, besides the turtles that are literally thriving and very healthy in the bay. So we did a koa top maple back inside, and we've actually colored the maple and the koa to resemble Kaneohe Bay.
Okay.
And the colors of the blues and the greens and these just rich colors that you would find in the bay, and translate that onto an instrument.
Just a work of art. And the inlay, I'm guessing that somebody pretty specialist must do that, or do you do that in-house? Or?
Actually this was a collaboration with a gentleman by the name of Craig Lavin. And Craig is a marine biologist. And so when we start to look at how do we capture the ocean and the things that are in the ocean, in this case the turtles, Craig's the perfect candidate because of his knowledge of the ocean. And translating that onto an instrument, in this case our Kaneohe Bay, which intentionally is to just show what we're able to do as the modern day builder.
Okay.
And do something that's really, really different. I mean, it's got abalone and it's got phenomenal inlay work, some 5A maple back inside with a master grade koa top, and the combination of the colors to really capture the bay, to say, or Kaneohe Bay.
And when I was talking to Kristen earlier, she mentioned this is kind of a relaunch of a signature series.
Exactly.
And they're all going to be different. So if you love this one, unfortunately this one is not going to be coming back to the Southern Ukulele Store, but you may well see something just as poignant and beautiful in the future.
Yeah, and the reality is when we start to look at the things that we're able to do as a modern day builder and start to integrate things that really nobody has done this journey of bringing color onto the instrument, and we're so excited to introduce it. But more importantly, we're looking at really bringing this as part of our line.
Of course.
Yeah.
What a fantastic top end of the line. Well, what a great interview. Thank you very much, Joe.
You're very welcome.
Have a
It's good
great
to see
show.
you, brother.
We'll see you soon.
Yes. Aloha.